have access to any guitar strings?
Well, any good guitarist has extra guitar strings on hand because you never know when one will break, especially when you're doing shows. You always have to have extras. So, yes.
Okay. Did you have them on the night of the show?
I was not planning on playing that night, so not particularly no. Since Marlo and I had kind of discussed that I would not be there that night. He knew I wasn't supposed to be there playing. I knew I wasn't going to be playing that night, so no.
Okay. Is there any reason other than that why you wouldn't have had them? I mean, did you sell all of your equipment or anything?
No, I just didn't see the need in bringing my guitar with me. As you've probably seen, guitars are pretty large objects. They're not large, but they take up space, and I didn't see the point in lugging it all the way with me across town to the Digby if I wasn't going to use it, so I left it at home.
Okay. Um, do you still have your guitar?
Yes.
Is it still in working condition?
Yes, of course, always.
Okay. So, um, Mrs. Miles. Now let's go back to your early days. You were convicted of arson, correct?
Correct.
Which is considered a felony, correct?
Yes. I thought we already went over this.
Okay. Sorry, I went out of order. Um, and where exactly did this take place?
Objection,
This
Your
took
Honor. Repetition.
Your Honor, this question has not
This
been asked by the prosecution before.
It was, however, asked by the defense, is there a different direction you're going with this line of questioning?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then I will give you a little bit of leeway right now, but please get to your point pretty quickly, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm sorry, did you answer the question?
No, can you repeat the question?
Okay. Where did this take place?
This happened at the Borough High School auditorium, right outside next to the cheerleaders where they were practicing, so near the field.
Okay. What exactly prompted you to do this?
Well, like I had said earlier, my friend Danny DeLuca and we were sitting at Buddy's and we were eating burgers. Of course, I was eating the Baconator because there's no other burger that's better. But we were eating our burgers, and the Pep Squad from Borough High School, which again I'm going to state was our arch rival, they came up to us and they had silly string, which is extremely messy, hard to get out of clothes. And they had the bottled cheese kind of spray. I don't know what it's called exactly, but the cheese spray and the whipped cream. They came up to us recognizing that we were on the Hamilton High School pep team, and they got all the stuff. They sprayed us down with it. We were completely messy, and it was disgusting, humiliated in front of all sorts of other people. And so we were like, we cannot let this go unanswered. We need to go give a prank to them because that's what it was a prank. So we were like, we'll do the same thing to their pep squad, which was outside during cheerleader practice, but we thought we could add a couple harmless little fireworks, like little sparks and stuff. And so we went and we were hiding in the bushes and we just kind of attacked all of a sudden with all of our silly string and cheese spray and whipped cream, and we set off our little firecracker work kind of things. But unfortunately, we had mixed them up, and like I had said earlier, the auditorium had caught fire from this and it burnt down.
Okay. And you knew that the actions you were taking with the fireworks were illegal, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. Um, so you mentioned in your affidavit that when you were, or when the other high school attacked you with the silly string and the whipped cheese and all that, that you that your Hamiltonian honor meant that you couldn't let their shenanigans um, go unanswered. What exactly did you mean by that?
Objection, Your Honor, repetition.
Yes, the witness has been asked that question and answered it multiple times. I will sustain that objection.
Okay. Um,
You may rephrase the question.
okay. So when they did all this, were you embarrassed or humiliated?
Of course. Like, I was a high school girl that just got attacked by silly string, cheese spray, and whipped cream in a public setting. That's not what I would consider an unembarrassing moment.
Okay. And you were going to do, or, well, sorry, did that cheapen your image?
I wouldn't say it would cheapen our image. It just made the other high school look like they were just a step ahead of us. And considering they're our arch rivals, it was definitely something that we probably should have seen ahead of time, but did not.
Okay. And were you willing to do anything to regain that image?
I wouldn't say anything, but no, not anything, because that could be taken in multiple directions. So, no, we were not willing to do anything, but we were willing to get our image back in the safest means possible.
And you were bothered that they were a step ahead, yes?
Slightly, yes.
Okay. Was firecrackers or fireworks necessarily the safest option you could have done?
Well, as an 18-year-old, I was not particularly thinking about the worst possible scenario, as some might say. So when we thought firecrackers, we were thinking of like those little tiny sparks that just pop up and then they're done. So we thought, yeah, that's pretty safe. It'll give them a good scare. We'll be good. Nothing could go wrong. Like, why would it? We're pretty much keeping safer precautions than what we possibly could have done, but didn't even consider.
So, is fire safe or not?
Fire is not
Objection,
safe.
Your Honor, argumentative question.
Sustained. You need to rephrase the question or move on.
Okay. So, you just said that you did not want pyrotechnics at the Digby um, in your act because it was considered unsafe, correct?
Not because it was considered unsafe necessarily, more so that it I just didn't feel like it was needed. Yes, of course it could become unsafe at first. Like, it's safe at first until something goes wrong, and I definitely learned that from my prior arson conviction, that you think it's okay until it's not. So I was kind of skeptical at why we really needed them. They weren't 100% necessary.
All right. Um, So you um, would pyrotechnics be the safest thing to get your status back then?
What do you mean?
Just to get pizzazz or whatever.
According to my music band partner, band member, Marlo Hubbard, yes, that was a way to get pizzazz, as well as that is what Jennifer Gallagher of Fourth Records, the record label, that's what she had also suggested. To me, I would say no, it didn't need more pizzazz, but according to them, that would be what would set our band on the top charts.
Okay. So going back to the high school thing, the prank that you played on the other high school, you said that fire is not safe, correct?
Objection, Your Honor, repetition.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
Okay. Miss Miles,
Yes.
so you previously stated that fire is not safe at you previously stated fire is not safe at the high school, but you just said that it is safe for the Digby. Correct?
I do not remember answering that question. I think it was objected to previously and just currently. I do not remember answering that question.
Miss Miles, do you have a memory problem?
No, sir, I do not. But if I do remember correctly, it was
I'm sorry.
objected to.
Go ahead. It's fine.
So, do you have another question for me?
Yes, sorry, just 1 second. So, Ms. Miles,
Yes.
you just said that fire was not safe for the Digby, correct?
I never said that. Can you direct me to where I said that?
The court's records will reflect that.
Okay.
Or minutes ago.
Give me the context of that, because I do not remember saying that specifically, like stating that straight out.
Okay, it was when you were asked by the defense counsel, why not fire?
Why not fire?
Do you recall that?
I do not recall that.
Objection, Your Honor, speculation.
I'm going to overrule that objection because they are discussing about testimony that has been given within the context of this trial. However, prosecution counsel, you need to go on and get to your point. I've given you about as much leeway as I can. This has been asked and answered multiple times.
Okay. So the defense asked, why not fire at the Digby? And you said because it's not safe. Correct?
I guess so. I do not personally remember saying that in exactly those words or exactly that question. Maybe that's a paraphrase and that's how you interpreted what I said, but I do not remember saying those words exactly like that.
So do you have memory issues? Because this was 5 minutes ago.
Objection, Your Honor, argumentative question.
Sustained.
Okay. Your Honor,
Yes,
would it be possible to transfer the questioning to my colleague?
absolutely.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. 1 second. Sorry, I need to hold up now. All right. So, Miss Miles, you were in the theater on the night of October 26, 2019. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, do you do fishing outside of what you've stated?
Would I like go fishing as in like is that a hobby? Is that
Have you been fishing? Yes.
I have been fishing, yes.
Okay, do you go fishing on a regular basis?
I wouldn't say regular basis per se, but I would say when I'm trying to clear my mind, kind of get my thoughts together, it's very peaceful. So, not on a regular basis, but yes, I do enjoy going fishing.
So why would you have had a fishing lure in your hands at the time?
At the time, I don't think I had it in my hands, but I did have marks on my hands from fishing lure where I had gone fishing previously before the October 26th. And I had gone to kind of sort my thoughts out, kind of think about my solo career, kind of get all my thoughts back together, kind of relax. And so I did use fishing lure that day, and I had marks left over.
All right, thank you. Why did you tell Officer Zapata that this fishing lure had left marks on your hands?
Because it had.
Okay. What were you doing with this fishing lure?
I was going fishing, and I had like put it in the reel kind of thing and gotten marks on my hands.
Okay. Now would you call yourself a handy person?
It depends on what it is that I'm trying to do. Some things yes, some things no. So it just depends on the subject.
Okay. Now would you consider a sink fixing a sink to be a handy job?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Is there an objection, or do you want him to go on?
He can go on.
Okay.
Thank you, Your
Okay.
Honor. Could you answer for me? Would fixing a broken sink be a handy task?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. And where did you get these tools to fix the sink with?
Objection, Your Honor. Irrelevant.
Your Honor, this
gonna-
has been previously stated by the defendant, and I'm establishing a basis.
I'm going to overrule the objection. This information was originally brought out in the direct examination by the defense. So you may proceed, prosecution.
Thank you, Your Honor. So where did you obtain these tools to fix the sink with?
I had been looking at getting them from the Home Depot because they had some of the tools I needed. I looked that up. I had some of the tools I had already needed in my toolbox. And so with that and the ones I had to go get from the Home Depot, I either had them or bought them from the Home Depot. So that is where I got the tools that I used to fix my broken sink.
All right, now, after you fixed the sink, did you go to the theater?
I wouldn't say I went. Like, do you mean as in the same day, or as in like?
In the relevant time span, in the same day.
Not necessarily in the same day, but around the same time frame.
All right, thank you. Now, what entrance did you use to get into the theater?
Usually, not talking about October 26th, I would go through the main entrance. I would look at all the pictures on the walls until they made the side exit. And then usually I found that easier to go in and out of, so I would use that. And then on October 26th, like I said earlier, I went to the side exit and I kind of pulled and pushed on it and it wouldn't move. It kind of felt jammed. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Maybe there's some kind of difficulty with it. They should really put a sign out. It's like, they'll fix that. They should know about that. It's a main entrance. So I walked through the front entrance, and then when I went to leave after I'd talked to Marlo, I went to go back out that side exit, and I kind of pushed and pulled on the door, and it would kind of give a little bit, but it wouldn't go, and it would kind of stick. And so I just went out the main entrance.
All right, so you touched the door, is that correct?
Yes, I was attempting to get in the door, so I did touch it.
All right, thank you. No further questions, Your Honor, at this time.
Okay, would the defense like to redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. What do you think happened that night?
Objection, Your Honor, this is speculation.
I will sustain that objection and invite the defense to rephrase the question.
What is the most probable answer to what happened that night?
I cannot say for 100% sure what happened that night, as I do know I did not have anything to do with it. I went to the Digby Theater to make ends meet with Marlo, try to explain some things. I went to go clear my head to see what was going on with my life and what I needed to do. And when I returned, everything was chaotic. And I had only returned to make amends with the previous band member, Marlo Hubbard, and I was upset to find out that our fan, Janet Jobson, had died, being crushed by a stampede, which is horrible. But I do not think I can say what exactly happened, as I do not know. If I had to speculate, I could guess, but I'm not going to do that because I do not know myself what happened that night. All I can say is for myself personally, I was not involved in the tragic incident that happened.
No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Prosecution?
We would like to ask one more question, Your Honor.
Okay, proceed.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Miss Miles, have you ever researched copywriting?
What do you mean by copywriting?
Like in your songs and your music on your phone. Sorry.
On my phone.
Yeah.
As in like my copyright, my songs were never they didn't get a copyright. They were my songs. I had written them. So I personally did not search anything to do with copyright issues. So the answer to that question would be no.
Did you, sorry, this is another question, Your Honor. My apologies. Did you ever look into how to protect your songs?
Yes, I had looked into getting a, what are they called? intellectual property lawyer to protect the songs that I had written before our band, the songs that I had written previously to both of us writing songs together. So songs that I had written on my own. I had looked into retaining an intellectual property attorney to help me protect my songs if the need arose to come to that extent. So yes, I did look into protecting my songs.
All right, thank you. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. The witness may be excused.
Thank you, Your
Does the
Honor.
You're welcome. Does the defense have anything further they would wish to present?
No, Your Honor.
So does the defense rest?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Looking at the time, our time together today is at an end, so we will convene tomorrow at 1 p.m., at which time we will hear the closing arguments of both the prosecution and the defense. And after those closing arguments, I will give some instructions to the jury, and the jury will deliberate. Does everybody understand what will be happening from this point forward?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I thank you for your time. I thank you each witness for your time. I do need to say that I did not realize that for the first half of today's session, the recording was not going. So we only have the second half recorded. But our jury members, all of our jury members have been on since we began questioning. So they have gotten to hear everything. All right.
Okay.
Any questions about how we're going to do tomorrow? Okay. All right. Witnesses, you're welcome to join us tomorrow when we call, but you do not necessarily have to. It will be totally up to you. They will simply be giving their closing arguments, and then we will wait on the jury to deliberate on their own. Okay? Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, and I will see you tomorrow at 1. Have a great rest of the day.
You too, Your Honor.
Thank you.